Okay, I'm gonna try to do this cool thing you do, like you're wearing it up like this, like a cool person. Yeah. Actually, I need your help. I know I have a story to tell, but I don't really know how I dramatically can work it out. But in the gist of it, I'm going to tell you two stories, and like this. And I'm going to tell you two stories. It's about my relationship with my mother, actually. Very wonderful subject, really. But how two stories can collide and how you interpret truth, or how you want to interpret it. You might wonder why I'm speaking in English, but that's because I have good manners. No, I'm kidding. This is going to be very long if I keep talking. I'm going to try to shorten this down, like always. But I'm going to tell you a story how I embraced my boldness as a start. And this is a story about me and my mother too, because we have very different stories about interpretation. And I complained to my mother when I was 22 that I was starting getting bald over here. And I said, no one else in my family had this bald spot. And I was my granddad on my father's side had this luscious white Father Christmas hair with a beard. And I said, why didn't I have that? And she was just laughing in my face, like going, all the time. And I couldn't understand it. He was wearing a toupee. And as a child, you don't understand that. And I know it's not that funny. I mean, I just wanted to tell you this as a start of this story. And I need your help at some point, but we can talk afterwards, and you can help me with this story. And it's about interpretation of stories. So I need some backstories. Oh, this is going to be very long. I need more than 5 minutes. Anyway, I had a father. He passed away in 1991 in a heroin overdose. But he was very sick and a very tired guy, but he was the most fantastic, lovable guy in the world. So we lived in a house, and my mother has moved away, and we lived in an apartment in the northern of Sweden. And I went to visit my father. And I remember this part. I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I had the time of my life. My father has filled my room with crisps and candy, and he had play toys. And he said, stay in this room. I need to talk to your mother. And I heard arguing outside. And parents argue. I think you're 5 years old and having a blast. Fill your mouth with candy. And, oh, this is the best day ever. Oh. And he walks into the room. Everything is okay, my son. Everything is okay. So that was kind of one of the most wonderful days of my life ever, because I had candy in my mouth. My father was attentive. He was listening to me. He was sitting in the bedroom, and I could hear my mother screaming my name. And I was like, oh, this is a good day. So I told my mother of this story just recently about this day. I remember this day was very wonderful, and she was laughing in my face again, like the bold story. Your father kidnapped you. Did you know that? He kind of forced you into that room, and I couldn't see you because they were kind of having this separate relationship. So I spent my time in the room, and he was locking me inside this room, but he was very lovely. And but on my mother's side, it was horrible. So she went up, leaving me in his room there, and she was very sad because she didn't want to want this fight to overflow into this room. And I kind of find this story very fantastic in a sense, because how I believed how this world works as a 6, 7-year-old, and when I heard my mother tell this story, I don't mind, that's kind of what I need your help. I know I have a story, right? It's kind of a weird, very weird story to tell a room full of half strangers, but I kind of felt I get to know you. But I'm going to end with this because it's a story about my mother in a sense, because she told me that she has kind of these journals, and she had been taking journals during the whole of the 60s and the 70s when she grew up, and she met my father, who was a heroin addict, which was kind of usual growing up in the 70s, kind of these movements, and he's kind of a lost generation. And she told me she's writing a play. And this is the sense why she told me this story. She's writing a play about the 70s. And she told me she wanted me to play my father. I mean, this is getting more and more fucked up, right? And she told me that I'm going to play my father. This is the end, just so you know, and you can help me afterwards, and I can just... And I told her, isn't that weird? Because she wants me to play my father when they met. It's very... and I said, isn't this very incesty or weird? And she just answered, and I'm going to leave you with this. She just answered, I know this is the punchline. She just leaves me and say, well, people like that kind of thing. So, that's it.